Check, baby, check. Good morning, all. Good morning, Ben and Heather. People, I do appreciate Ben.
You know,
He's got a lot of really great advice too.
he's a very smart man. Matthew Hicks was there last night, and
Oh, I saw him post that he was there for the first time.
yeah, and he said it really is like the Chesterfield area's Cheers. That everybody's so friendly and everybody knows your name, and he was pleasantly surprised at how not surprised, I should say surprised, pleased to see it was as great as everyone says it is. So he witnessed it firsthand.
What do we got here? Welcome to the show before the show, everybody. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing the show. Let people know, get in your groups. Guten Tag. Good morning. From David Sparks. I took German in 7th grade.
I took
It
German.
was easier for me to learn German than it was Spanish. I'm not kidding you. Maybe it was because of the age. Maybe I was just more into it.
Yeah, I took German too.
I did it for a year, and
I drove my German teacher
Mr. Koenig.
crazy because my dad could speak very fluent like German. He was stationed over in Germany. So he taught me all these words, even all the bad words. And I would go and say all the German bad words to my teacher. She was not thrilled with me. But I thought it was a lot of fun because I couldn't get in trouble because my dad taught me those.
Sure. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, we'll talk about this too. I didn't put it on the shot sheet. Don't let me forget about, because I know you and Megan were all about the former TV exec says that he's going to go after Barron Trump.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, why? It's like you're looking for, but we'll get into that.
Yeah. Well, it's like that just kind of shows you the mentality that you are when you literally are going to go after a kid as soon as he turns 18.
People can make his life miserable too.
Correct.
I mean, if you go out intentionally, unprovoked, trying to do something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's intentionally trying to. I can send Pro Joe this gentleman's picture of his social media in case our listeners would like to tell him a thing or two.
He just looks evil.
He does look.
I'm sorry. I'm checking out his picture. By the way, this isn't the show yet. This is the show before the show.
It is the show before the show. Do you want me to send Joe those pictures?
You have a close up of him better than that? Look, please.
Yeah.
At me.
Okay. Oh, no.
Okay. That's what I thought. I
Nope.
just want to, no, I mean, I want to send that to Joe.
Yeah, send that one to Joe too. Yeah, do it.
And you can send whatever else too.
Yeah, send that close up because that's a really close. He does not have the face of an angel. Let's put it that way.
With lips like
Mm-hmm.
Hinder sing that song, by the way.
Who's saying
Lips
that
of an
song?
Angel.
Who?
Hinder.
Hinder. I don't remember that. I remember the song, but I don't remember it being by Hinder.
You're not that much older than me.
No, but I just don't remember it being Hinder.
With the I haven't got my vocal cords ready to go yet, so I'll save people.
Well, just go ahead and sing, and you can sing
Like a
that
hard
song.
ballad. Because I was a ballad guy. I told you I love all the ballads.
Yes,
That's what I'm like. I'm a ballad guy.
you're a ballad guy. That you know that fits your personality.
You think?
Yeah, yeah. Which is not an insult. It's like steady.
No, it's funny because I love the song,
Yeah.
but the song is about a guy cheating on his girl, as Pro Joe reminds us.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
No, but that song was good.
Yes.
Baby, just hard, good, strong.
Good. Yeah, mhm. Good and strong, and I'm
But I
gonna
like the
cheat on my
ballads.
girl. I'm gonna cheat on my girl.
I'm a
ballad.
I'm a
guy.
hardcore romantic, Lizzie.
Yes, I've noticed that about you. And then
Oh,
here I
my-
am. You know,
I can't even think straight to send Joe the picture of this jackass.
yeah, because you're too busy dreaming of your ballads.
That's right.
In the meantime, I'm over here listening to Post Malone and Ozzy Osbourne. So,
By the way, I didn't even know Hotmail still had email addresses.
yeah,
Pro Joe has a Hotmail address.
I
and I'm
love
like,
it. I love it.
Hotmail.
I still have an AOL.
I bet he has a MySpace account too.
Oh, he does. He does. I never had a MySpace, but I still have my AOL. I don't use it very often, but up until 2019, I used it in my business and I just hung on to it like an old lady. And people would even say to me, you know what? That is a liberal thing. And I'm like, you're going to find out almost everything is liberal. So you just got to call it out. Got to call it out.
Hey guys, this is the show before the show. Like, subscribe, share the show. Check out our platforms. Jump in. Let people know about what we do. We're grateful for that. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter, X, Clout Hub. Am I missing anything?
Yeah, that's what we're on live. All those that you said were on live. But if you're listening to this after fact, you absolutely know that we also have Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Sound Club, all of those that you can listen to.
Soundgarden?
It's like sound.
No, that's Eric's band.
Yeah, there you go. Susan says she loves her AOL since 2003.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but you want to hear my AOL dates back to 1993 when I opened my preschools when I got that AOL. So it dates that far back.
Okay, that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate everybody jumping in today, liking, subscribing, share the show. From the chat line before we get going, Vic, did you play the tennis racket or the big pot upside two wooden? Oh, Greg, I love you, but man, I sometimes okay.
It's like, like the imaginary band. It's like you take a.
No, I was a lead singer.
Okay, then why
I
don't you
talked
start
about
singing?
that before. And I wished I didn't have any talent.
Oh, okay. So, well, then anybody can be a lead
As a
singer.
kid, I told this story before, and I don't mean to bore people. I tried to sing and I couldn't sing. So then I tried drums and I couldn't drum.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the people in the bass are that were playing. What do we got here? We had everybody was already playing all the other instruments, and they're like, and then so I got a clarinet.
Okay, so
I was like, what the hell is this?
That's hysterical. So
and I told the guy, the band teacher knew that I wasn't happy and I didn't want to do that, but he was trying to help me because I had zero talent from a musical standpoint. and then they gave me a bass clarinet,
Oh,
and I rocked the
yeah.
shit out of that.
Well, a bass clarinet, if you're in
No,
like
it was just a big, strong, tough thing. That was the biggest
Mhm.
thing that they could get besides like a tuba.
Well, they give the kids a bass clarinet, like you said, when it's the pity instrument.
It is the pity instrument.
Mhm.
But what we weren't teaching at that time, which I think I could have done,
Yeah.
I could have written lyrics.
Yes.
But they weren't
yes.
teaching you how to write in school. They
No.
didn't teach kids how to write lyrics.
No, of course not.
I was before my time.
You were before your
Kind of like this podcast.
Yes, you're always before your
That's
time.
right.
You are.
That sounds so good.
Mhm.
Maybe not true, but we like it.
We can say it. It's true in our minds.
Yeah, they should teach kids. If you're gonna have, you have to teach kids how to write.
Mhm.
That's where it's at.
Well, they don't even teach kids
The
these days how
business,
to write
the
well
business
English
of
anymore.
music.
Yes. Yeah, because really, without the business side of music, you can't get your music out.
No, yeah, exactly. We talked about what's his name, the Canadian guy who I like, Tom, who would never,
Tom McDonald.
yeah, would never message us back.
Yeah.
I supported the hell out of that guy.
We do need to get Tom McDonald on the show. So if anybody knows Tom McDonald or knows
It's
his
all right.
agent,
He's big timed us. That's all right.
he is big timed us.
He big timed us.
That's a good word. He big timed us.
But anyway, the reason I bring him up is that he produced his own, had a #1 single produced it himself. He went against the grain. You can't do it. Look at Angel Studios,
Mhm.
What they've done with the movie industry, and they continue to rock.
Yeah, they do.
So we got that. Yes, just responding before we start. Yeah. I did. I went and saw Cabrini with Megan. I loved it. That was another movie from Angel Studios. Fantastic, about the life of Saint Francesca Cabrini. What a terrific movie. Terrific movie. I knew
I've
about
not seen it.
Oh my gosh. What she did for children in New York. Oh, just a phenomenal movie. And opening night, it was sold out.
Was it really?
Yep.
Huh.
It was way out there in what you people call God's country.
That's right. It is
out in
God's
Wentzville.
country. Yep.
was
Oh,
like-
you went to the B&B?
I felt like I was out in
Yeah,
Columbia, Missouri.
you kind of are.
It's like a travel way in the hell out there, and
You could see
the
it's really-
sticks.
it's really not that far. And you know what?
There's actually people that live in the sticks. I was
There's people that live
surprised.
in the sticks.
I'm just
What?
kidding.
Wentzville's not the sticks anymore.
I know that's the funny part.
It
It's
used to
not.
be the stick. Now, it's Walmart. It's still different than say someone else's Walmart. You could still go.
I'm not a Walmart guy.
Well-
I'm not going into these damn Walmarts to look at all the illegals that you guys tell me.
Oh,
That are
it's
there.
the truth. They're even
But-
in Wentzville too. But you still, those illegals are sitting right next to a lot of badass Ford 150s out in. There's still a lot of good truckers in Wentzville. But yes,
Susan says she started the season 2 of The Chosen. That's cool. Jeannie says never heard of him. I don't know who
I think
that
she's
is.
talking about Tom McDonald.
Oh yeah.
He's the rapper, like I call him the rapper for Trump, but he's really the rapper of truth. He raps a lot of things we talk about.
That's right. Okay, we can start the show, Pro Joe. Sorry, a little later today, but that's fine. We're all good.
That's because we just kept talking.
Hey guys, welcome into cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe running the boards. He's not with us if people were looking for his picture. Sometimes he does the show from home, which is so damn cool what we do.
It is cool.
And the concepts that we have and what we're trying to do, and more to come in the future as well. But he's a part of the show here with us as well, liking everybody being here with us. It is a Thursday, March 21st. NCAA tournament begins today. If anybody did the brackets, good luck with that. So you'll see basketball on. I love that time of the year. It kind of marks spring, fun time, basketball time, tournament time. Anyway, a lot of serious things going on in the world. We try to cover it all. We're here Monday through Friday, of course, 8 to 10 a.m. Central and all the time on our website, canceltheshow.com. Hey, thanks for supporting us and letting people know what we do here every single day. We're grateful for that. News headlines, politics, news trends, cancel culture education, business stories, and of course, Free for All Fridays when we get all of those things done. Lizzie already beat me to the punch there on the chat line. Happy World Down Syndrome Day today. Many families have Down syndrome kids or grandkids or great grandkids, and regardless of the situations that people have, we want to bring notoriety to it.
Absolutely.
And for all the families that have a Down syndrome angel in their family.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what it is. And I love to hear people talk about it, because when you get a diagnosis of a Down syndrome, there's a lot of fear, uncertainty of what you're going to be dealing with. And every time a parent has a Down syndrome baby, they're like, oh my God, we've got the best angel in the world.
That's right. The best angel in the world. They're blessed because they see things in such a pure, wonderful way that other people do not. And they're so smart and adorable. You're blessed. And we want to recognize that. If you have a little angel that has Down syndrome, you are blessed, and you already know that.
Yeah, for the longest time, the medical community, I don't even think realized how to talk to parents or to deal with it. But I think it's getting better in hearing interviews and people talk about situations that are going on. So we appreciate that in regards to, and let us know if you have somebody with Down syndrome in your family, if you guys are dealing with that, and some of the things that you can educate us with that. We appreciate that throughout the show as well. Hey, Hunter Biden's business partner testified yesterday. More entertainment from, I don't know what's getting accomplished. I mean, nothing's going to happen to Hunter Biden. Nothing's going to happen to Joe Biden. But it's just more of what we see is actually going on. And I'm grateful that we can get some of the information out there. It's one of those things. The right loves to see it. The left doesn't. And then the left loves to see all the indictments and the crap thrown against the wall against Trump, and the right doesn't. It's just part of it. Kyle Rittenhouse, who joined our show not too long ago, was speaking last night in Memphis at a college, University of Memphis, I believe that's where it was, and all hell broke loose. BLM trying to show back up. BLM led by white Antifa, cross-dressing, drag-loving, transgender pushing. It's like you went to the weirdest circus ever. And it's no surprise the study that we showed yesterday and told you about, based out of Finland, that woke ideology is making people depressed, or people who have less mental ability. I'm not kidding you. That's their study. People are depressed. People with lower mental cognitive abilities are the ones who are drawn to woke ideology. I mean, there's a depression there. And then we saw it with transgender as well, trying to change your sex, not calling it out, but these are what the studies are saying. Anyway, we'll show you just some sad video from there. Mm-hmm. We'll also get into some situations going on with Tucker Carlson bringing to light. There's a reporter who worked with Blaze who was just arrested because he published a video of January 6th, video that the mainstream media did not want you to see. He was there. They literally, wait till you see what they did to him. I mean, it's a misdemeanor. They charged him with a misdemeanor, and I'm assuming that's because he went inside the Capitol. And they're trying to make an example out of him. With all the people running around Dallas and illegals and murders, the FBI went above and beyond to try to make an example of this guy because he put video out of J6. But of course, you guys know, mainstream media won't tell you that. And many Americans are uneducated on the whole situation, unfortunately. Fani Willis, she is going to get run through the ringer.
Oh, my gosh.
Her whole plan went down in flames. Mm-hmm. One of those black Soros-supported DAs like Letitia in New York. I still think she's feeling good about herself in New York, trying to take down Trump. I still feel like something will fall back on her. Something, somehow, some way, karma's going to come back and get her. in that. Also, we get video of us just to show you what it's like for St. Louis City police officers, because criminals and people who are doing crime, they don't care about police. They will put police in harm's way every day, which is why police don't get paid even remotely enough. I mean, you're talking about St. Louis City police officers making $50,000 or under. They do the job of about 20 different people at the same time. We'll show you just an example again. So if anybody ever wants to yell at a policeman or a policewoman for the job they do, shame on you, F you, because you have no idea what it's like to do that damn job.
That's right.
And today we get started right out of the gate. I wanted to start anything, by the way, I've been talking a lot. I'm sorry, Lizzie. Anything on your mind today?
You don't even want to get me started, so you just go.
Like, subscribe, share the show. We appreciate you guys jumping in today, of course, as always. Oh, you want to talk about getting started?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Right out of the gate today, I've got to show you these. We already know what's happening with illegals entering this country. We already know that it's a horrible freaking situation, crime being committed, literally illegals killing, raping, stealing, trying to take over this country because they've given a free pass by Joe Biden. This is where I couldn't understand one American, even Democrats. You know, hey, if you don't want to vote for Trump, I get that. I get your hatred. I get the Trump derangement syndrome's a real thing. I get it. But to cast a vote for Joe Biden,
I don't get
that's
that
where
at
I'm
all.
going with this. You know what? If you don't want to vote for Trump, fine. Nobody's telling you. But how can you, in any good conscience, put a vote in for Joe Biden when you see what's happening in this country?
I don't get
I
it.
always try to go where the puck is and think about this. If you don't vote for him, but don't vote for Biden. If you're not going to vote for Trump, why vote for Biden when you see what's happening in this country?
Correct. Just don't vote then. And I'm not a person that is for just not voting. But if you can't get past your
I know it's a
hatred-
different take. And
but I agree with you.
And I've always told people, vote, vote, vote.
Me too. I always say to vote.
But there's no way you should be voting for Joe Biden
I
when
agree.
he is committing crimes against this country with the border.
Hates this country. He talks about every country first, whether it's Ukraine or whoever it is. He talks about them first. And I never thought I'd say this either, Vic. I think you should, my opinion is I think you should vote for Donald Trump if you love America. You don't have to like his personality. We all have doctors that fix us, so to speak, but we don't like their personality. Who cares? But if you just can't get past your pride because you like Nikki Haley or you liked Ron DeSantis, both who were not viable candidates at this time, maybe they would be later on. I think Ron DeSantis would be later on. I still don't think Nikki would. That being said, if you just can't pull the trigger for Donald Trump, don't vote. Have your little happy ass stay home and drink your latte at home.
I didn't know if you were going to yell at me for my take.
No, I agree with it.
I never thought I'd get to this point.
Me either.
It's a no vote is better than voting for a criminal.
Agree.
And I know there's liberals
agree.
say Donald Trump's a criminal, but Donald,
He's not a criminal.
Even if he was, this country is in a far better situation.
Absolutely.
Than the at least 10 to 11, maybe 12 million illegals that have come in
That's right.
over the last 3 years and are taking over this country, which leads me into this dumbass, this little effer up from Venezuela, the TikToker.
Yeah.
These
illegals for Venezuela, all I can do is see Travis Wolf's face. Sorry to interrupt you, but that's just what pops into my head.
The Venezuelans have really caused a lot of hell already. I mean, well, there's a reason. There's a reason Venezuela doesn't want them back. There's a reason Mexico is trying to say we don't want any illegals that came into your country back into our country. We've been told they released several from prisons that like, listen, take all of our trash. We're going to clean up our country. America is the country that's falling downhill. By the way, from the chat line, we do have the live cast, and almost 1,000 comments daily in our 2 hours so far. You guys, we love it when you jump in. We try to get to as many of them as we possibly can. Lizzie sees it. I see it. Lizzie tries to respond. We appreciate it when you guys jump in and help educate us, entertain us, and we'll do the same thing. He says, if you don't vote, will the selection committee vote for you?
That is really a good take on that. So I retract kind of what I said before, because I still say if you can't vote for Trump, don't vote at all. That being said, I don't think Robert's wrong in this. We know that there was cheating. So if you don't vote at all, You could definitely have had like a mail-in ballot with your name on it that you voted for Biden. Good point.
Mitch brings up what I said yesterday. Somebody said we need to catapult illegals back into
Yes.
Mexico or across the border. And I said
Mhm.
John Deere should sponsor it.
Agree.
So Mitch jumps in today and says, use the John Deere catapult.
I'm 100% for that. Catapult them right back where you came from. They don't want them back on purpose. We already know that because Venezuela, Mexico, and a lot of other countries, they really did open up their prisons and their mental institutions.
Many people don't even realize this.
They don't, and put them on. But that is a fact. That is not me just speculating. There's proof of that. There's fact of that. And now they don't want them. And so I don't know that their goal was purposely to ruin America. They just don't want them ruining their own country. And they know that Biden has our border wide open. So what? This is a great time. Let's just put them on our buses and our planes, put them right up through the border.
Robbie says, I say we send their people back and tell these countries we will fight you if you want to fight. Yeah, of course.
Of course. I agree with Robbie.
But now what you have, I mean, this is why I feel like these videos need to get out everywhere. Local news won't do it for you. National news won't do it for you. Fox News is doing a pretty good job with the border. I mean, they really are. Of course, Newsmax does. We do. There's a TikToker. You heard about him before. You may have seen him. Millions and millions and millions of views. And this is another reason why TikTok is getting, whether you like TikTok or don't, TikTok's being used by, quote, bad people with bad intentions, trying to create bad outcomes. There's a little mother trucker, thinks he's really cool, who told everybody how to get into the States. That's a picture of him right there. We're going to show you his video in just a second. He first made a video about how you should come to the United States, not only have one video or not only have one child, but have multiple children. How you come here, you don't even have to get a job. They pay you to come here. And if you have a baby, you have citizenship and then you get paid. And the more babies you have, the more tax money you get back. This system is great here, says the little dick on our photo right here, the video. He's an illegal. He's a criminal. And then he's used TikTok to show people how to get into the United States. Then he used the video to show people and illegals how you come here. And if you come here, how he's got his apartment paid for. He's got his car paid for. He and his baby mama are now citizens because they came here and that their child gave them immediate citizenship.
That's right.
Bypassing all the rules, laws, and everything that's in place. This is a byproduct of Joe Biden, his administration. It is. Nobody can tell me I'm wrong, and you can't prove that I'm wrong because it's all there.
It's all there.
These are the problems that we have. This little entitled, this is another picture of entitled. Now, he put out the first video now on a story that we covered yesterday, squatting. He's now teaching illegals about the squatting rules here, how to take over your home.
That's right.
How to take over a home that is abandoned for at least 30 days. So he's teaching and he's talking about going and doing this. Now, I think karma will hit him at some point in time. I do. However, the news is already out there.
Correct.
They're promoting, because I'm telling you, Americans who are educated citizens don't even realize or know what the squatting rules are. And we saw that yesterday with a woman in New York. So now you're teaching illegals on how to do this. And I guarantee they'll be more educated on the rules in America than American citizen homeowners are.
Absolutely.
So listen to what he's saying here. Now he's speaking obviously in Spanish, and the titles are at the bottom. For our listeners on the podcast, I will repeat what he says with those words. So Joe, we can go ahead and play this clip. I have thought about invading a house in the United States. I found out that there is a law that says if a house is not inhabited, we can seize it. Guys, here in the United States, it also applies the of land invasion, and I think that will be my next business, invading abandoned houses, since I have looked for some codes with my friends and Africans, and they told me that they have already taken about 7 houses. And as the saying goes, Daddy, You have to look for the
Y la
return,
vuelta ahorita
and the
mismo
return right
es
now
invadir
is to invade
casas.
houses,
Ya que
since we are
nos
not
encontramos
in a street
situación de calle,
situation,
y es la única manera que
and in the
tenemos
only way we have
para
to
no vivir en la
not live in the
calle y no
street
ser una carga
and
pública.
not be a public
Capiche.
burden.
La ley dice
The
que las
law
casas
says that
abandonadas,
abandoned houses,
deterioradas y que
deteriorated,
esté en mal
and that is
estado,
in a bad
podemos
condition,
llegar
we can
y
get and
repararlas,
repair
vivir en ellas
and
y si
live in it.
podemos venderla.
And if
Hasta
we can
pedir
sell it, we
créditos
can
con
even sell
ellas.
it for
¿Qué
credit.
dicen ustedes?
What do you say?
Wow. Wow. And any of you guys that can't see his face, the look on his face is of mean, evil determination.
You do. You see evil on him.
You do see
Like,
evil on
you
him.
see a demonic spirit. You see.
I agree.
You see it in the eyes.
You do see it in the eyes. I mean, that is evil right there. And then he also talked about basically the street smarts that they have from wherever he came from, and then they come over here and it doesn't really work. So you have to go live in a house and take it over. And they figured it out. Vic, you're so right. There's people that live in America, they don't understand that this is even going on. And there's many hardworking people. Like, for example, the other day, we have a friend that has a house that is completely sitting vacant because they're in Florida for a month and a half. And so what's interesting about that, if they knew where that was, they could go get that house right now.
From the chat line, so anyone, excuse me, so anyone with two homes, a winter or a summer home, you're going to be
Correct.
targeted.
You are going to be targeted. They're going to figure it out. So while you're gone, you better put someone in your house, because you could even have the best alarm system, one that you can even see. But if they've already breached the door after 30 days, you'll pay hell getting it back anywhere.
This is the other thing Donna from the chat line brings up. Not all abandoned properties are dumps. People just may not be there at that certain point in time. You work hard. You have family homes that are passed down, whatever be the case, those homes will be targeted.
Mm-hmm.
The sad thing is you may have now illegals, and they're coming in every part of the country. And that's why we made it a focus in 2023 and said we would continue to do this, if not on a daily basis, more than anybody else, talk about the border and what's going to happen to our country, because I really felt, and that's why I said it, the number one issue facing this country, and I've said it for over a year, was the border. Thank God Democrats are finally talking about it, as Republicans have, but now it's coming home. How do you feel? Do you feel comfortable in your home knowing that illegals may be scoping things out?
For sure.
I'm not kidding.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Not even illegals, but people who are legal. We saw a legal white guy in New York yesterday trying to take over a house of a Hispanic woman.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't even, let's not even play the race game or the race card. I mean, you had a white guy trying to screw a American citizen Hispanic woman out of her home in New York, utilizing squatter rules, squatter laws. They feel like they're entitled now. This stuff is getting worse.
It is.
I mean, that if there was ever a time for Amendment 2 to really be something that you need to think serious about,
correct.
If you don't have it already, now is the time.
Absolutely. Because if they come in your house and they think it's vacant and it's not, you have a Second Amendment. And so you might want to think about strongly using that Second Amendment on that particular time. Now, and if you don't have something, and I don't even know if I can say that word, a G.
Of course you can.
And well, I didn't know if that would get us shut down.
Oh my
because
God.
a lot of times when people put it on our chat,
you know what? You're right.
They flag it. That's why I spelt it with a pause. So because our spies that listen, they don't like the Second Amendment. And when you say the actual apparatus, the word that will keep you safe, they'll flag you. So that should tell you everything that you need to know. You need to go get one if you don't already have one, and make sure that you know how to use it. Because just because you have one doesn't mean you're a good aim.
Squatter laws so easily fixed, it baffles why they haven't been. That,
Right.
according to Jay. This is why you got to talk to your state reps.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to talk to your councils, your local councils. You've got to get to your state senators. You've got to get to Congress. Polite but persistent. Polite but persistent. From the chat line, guys, it's also very expensive to remove a squatter.
Oh, it is. It's very, you have to.
My friend who is a realtor, owns properties, knows and has dealt with it.
Correct. And you have to be careful. Like it takes so long. We had commercial buildings and and several rental homes. And I didn't have squatting in them, but they'll stay beyond their lease and they won't pay. And they know that they have at least 6 months before you can ever get them out. Most of the time, it's closer to a year. And then there's nothing you can do about it.
And from the chat line, Jeannie says, and what if there's a kid in the house when they come in to squat?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, someone getting unalived.
Oh, for sure.
With
Sure.
with a device
Mm-hmm.
that puts out a piece of metal at a very high speed.
Correct. Very good.
I just, guys, we always try to be ahead of the game here,
Mm-hmm.
not just Monday morning quarterback of what's happened. Yes, we do that too, but we're also like, you got to get ahead of this.
You do.
And we're not trying to scare people. We're just, these are videos that are being put out there. First, there's no way we'll have millions and millions of illegals here. Then the illegals showed up.
That's right.
There's no way we'll pay for them. They'll just have to be on their own. Now we're paying for them.
That's right.
There's no way they'll have more rights than current Americans. Now they have more rights than current Americans in several situations.
Sure.
There's no way they'll take our tax money, our tax dollars, instead of using it for our own infrastructure, for our own good, to help illegals. That's been done. So much so to the point that even New York ran out of money and they were starting to kick the illegals out of some of the places because they can't support them. There's no way this would happen. There's no way they'll make videos about how to take over our houses and to make our life miserable. Now it's happened. You see, that's a trend. It's not going to stop. It's the slippery slope. You have to stop it. And if you don't, or if you don't try to get it stopped, it's just going to, more stuff is going to happen.
That's right.
Little by little by little by little. It scares me to think what's going to be next within the next year.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
we won't even think about because our brains don't.
Well, that's why I'm scared about, and literally scared about the presidency.
Me too.
And what could happen. There's no doubt in a fair election, and you already see it all over the country, the support for Donald Trump. There's very little, if any, support for Joe Biden. There isn't. There's just not the support there.
Well, and Jeannie's saying that video that you just played, and when we saw it last night, I wasn't shocked because I know that this is going on, but the evil on his face is what shocked me, I think.
Joe, can we show it again? I'm not trying to bore people with it, but you have to see that. I just want you to listen. And I've already read it for our podcasters, listeners, but I for our people who are actually watching a live show, you can read what he's saying again. I just wanted to show that when Joe gets that pop back up.
Correct.
So people can see the face and see what they're trying to do. As Megan says, take over our homes. Can you even believe what
I can't believe
is being said? It's complete lunacy. And it's only, as I say, it's not getting better. It's only getting worse. More and more will be thrown at you because there is a takeover of this country. And if you say it, oh, you're crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist. No, we're going with facts.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Lizzie and I and Project, we're pretty level-headed, normal people. We really are. We just are trying to call out what's happening. We're going to play the video again. This Venezuelan who had already told Americans, or excuse me, basically said, Americans, get ready. We're coming.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, come. Now he's telling the illegals, come here, have babies. You'll get citizenship and you'll get taxpayer money. Now he's telling you how to invade a house. Here it is.
Well, and as Bindi said, his lip licking is creepy. I don't know what's up with the lip licking, but he is.
Do we have, or
pensado invadir una casa en United States, ya que me enteré que existe una ley que dice que si una casa no está habitada, podemos expropiarla. Capichi, muchachos, aquí en United States también se aplica la de invasión de terreno. Y creo que ese será mi próximo negocio. Invadir casas abandonadas, ya que me he buscado unos códigos con mis amigos africanos y me dijeron que ya llevan como 7 casas expropiadas. Y como dice el dicho, papi, hay que buscar la vuelta. Y la vuelta ahorita mismo es invadir casas, ya que nos encontramos en situación de calle y es la única manera que tenemos para no vivir en la calle y no ser una carga pública. Capichi, la ley dice que las casas abandonadas, deterioradas y que esté en mal estado, podemos llegar y repararlas, vivir en ellas y si podemos, venderla, hasta pedir créditos con ella. ¿Qué dicen ustedes?
Yeah, very assertive, matter-of-fact speech, very scary.
It is
From the chat line, deport him immediately. Stop it. Is this guy trans? He's a crazy lip licker.
he
He's a
is.
picture of crazy. He's a picture
Uh-huh.
of evil. He sounds like a military leader that's been trained, yelling, dry mouth from meds, possibly. No gratitude whatsoever. We welcome these jerk off bags here with open arms. Man, that pisses me off. Those are just some of the quick
Some of the
the comments that
Yeah.
are flying in right now. Yeah, it needs to be removed, but Joe Biden isn't. All they want to say is Trump's a bad man
Mhm.
instead of taking care of the country. It's going to get worse. Sorry, it is. Until it's dealt with, it's going to get worse, and nobody knows how to deal with it because everything goes to the top. You literally have Joe Biden worried more so about trans rights
Mhm.
than our border. You have Joe Biden worried about DEI than any of this stuff. He's playing Despacito on his cell phone when he's in Arizona, which is just a huge humiliation to not only himself, his administration, but the Latino community who he was trying to
And
get votes with. I mean, do you think they're stupid, Joe? No, you're stupid. Your administration is stupid.
Mhm.
It's great to see Latinos. Tito Ortiz did an interview last night with Jesse Walters. He is a former UFC champion, former mayor of Huntington Beach, California. He did an interview with Jesse Walters last night explaining how it's an insult, how this guy is the worst president ever, and that citizens who are Latinos, who are actual American citizens, he says most of them want Donald Trump.
Mhm.
They don't like this either. Some of them hate it as much as we do because they did it the right way and they're getting screwed over.
Correct. Yeah, that when they came over here correctly, they didn't get $9,000 in government cards, and that's why they're going to Walmart. They're actually getting cards to Walmart. That's why they're seen all over the place across the United States. And I don't know if it's our government or if it's Walmart, although they're kind of in cahoots in many ways. Who's giving them all this money? And we don't get it. And the people that came in here legally, they didn't get any money like this.
Kevin Joseph, Biden could care less. Clearly, he and his family make millions by selling
Of
us out.
course.
We're seeing that right now,
That's
especially
right.
with all the evidence that we're going to get to from some of the testimony that happened in Congress yesterday. It's
Mhm.
sad. I used to want to live down south by the border. Never would. I even vacation down there now.
Correct.
Get safe, get south. Not anymore. What states are still safe? Nebraska, Nevada, Montana, Utah. Bendy says, I'm seeing more and more young men walking on Highway K in O'Fallon who look like they don't belong here.
She's right. They're just walking down the street everywhere.
I
in
know
middle
I've
America.
been insulated, but it's ironic we talk about these situations. I was in a
Mhm.
quick trip last night, and it's funny how this stuff works sometimes. I finally saw a group, a family that didn't look the part. And I know that you can say, oh, well, you're profiling.
But you have to profile. I know that people don't like to profile, but if it walks like a duck, then it's a duck, and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. So that's what's happening. I mean, we know, you can tell a mile away if they're here illegally. I mean, their mannerisms are different. They're always looking behind their back, and they're rude. They're so rude. Did you find them rude?
No, these people, they were speaking Spanish, very disheveled. It was a husband or a man and a wife, or a man and a woman, and then two young kids. And I'm like, oh my God. It's like, then you're in that point. Are they legal? Are they illegal?
Correct. And odds are they are illegal. And the tragic thing is some of the people coming over here understand how to play the system and they're fine. Then you've got other ones, possibly like the family that you're talking about, that came over here and already used up their card just to get to where they're going. And now here they are, and they're in our public school systems getting everything for free, and they're homeless. And and we know a lot of them are homeless because they're under the bridges in all the counties across middle America. And of course, they've already been all over the East and the West Coast and down south. But that's another side no one's talking about, is the ones that are crafty and have figured it out. They're going to do okay. But then there's some other one of these families, they were promised things they're not getting, and they're a drain on our system.
Eventually, our communities, residents will have to take matters into their own hands. Yeah, that's
They
coming.
are. It's
Neighborhoods,
coming.
cities,
Yes.
watch groups will be needed.
Mhm.
Also, from the chat line, it's going to get very bloody before it gets better. We're not promoting this. We're just saying this is what you guys are telling us right now.
Correct.
Extreme cold weather states seem to deter. Not sure anymore, though. Minnesota's cold.
Mhm.
Even when I vacationed there in July years ago, that was my first experience. And I've talked about that before.
Mhm.
Over 20 years ago, I'm driving through Minneapolis and everybody's Somali. They're
Mhm.
Somalian. And I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy crap. But I didn't know if they came here legal or not. So Kevin says the only homeless people I see are Americans. I don't see homeless illegals right now.
And there's a
Um,
good point to that because a lot of them, I mean, we're not taking care of our homeless veterans. We're not taking care of the people here in America that might have mental challenges or things like that. We are taking care of the illegals, and we know why. We know why. I mean, our chat line and everybody that listens to the show is smart that way. But so many of our friends are not. They don't understand that by bringing these people in, they're wanting voters, and they don't understand that they're taking all of the resources that could be our grandchildren's resources.
And some better news. Tanya says, "Hey, March and Mizzou back in from Ireland. They were in Ireland for St. Patrick's Day. It's funny. My daughter, who not only was she with Riley Strain, ironically, in Nashville 2 weekends ago, her roommate was with March and Mizzou in Ireland.
Oh, that's
So
so cool.
yeah, March and Mizzou kicked ass. So we try to give shout outs when we see people who jump in. So
Love
Tanya,
that.
oh yeah, Tanya says she's headed to Mizzou listening to us this morning. We're a national based show. We do local stuff. We're based out of the St. Louis area. We broadcast live out of Strategic Air Services in an amazing studio, but we give shout outs whenever we can to people if they're listening all over the country. Even if you live in a nice, safe neighborhood, lock your doors.
I agree. I agree.
Not only lock your doors, lock your cars. And that doesn't just go with illegals. That goes with anybody. As I learned when I had my car, I had a rental car stolen out of Ladue, and I was told by the police where the car would end up, by what time, and the condition it would be in, and they were spot on all three. So yeah, that can happen anywhere.
Mhm.
Benny reminds everybody a Somalian man was just elected to Congress in Ohio. His victory speech wasn't even in English.
Oh my gosh. Now that tells you everything you
America's
need to know.
changing.
Yes.
But I know a liberal guy who loves it and says
I hate
white
it.
people, he's a black man and he's
Mhm.
an evil black man. He is evil,
Mhm.
and I call him evil because of
Mhm.
what he says. I can't wait to see whites suffer. And there's a lot of those people who say, I mean,
That's terrible.
the UN junior secretary, a black woman, is saying that whites need to suffer as well from the United Nations.
That's sick.
I'm not kidding. That
That's sick.
there's now, if white people said that about black people, you'd be racist, or if
Or if we
Latinos said it, or
Yes.
vice versa.
And that is the real problem that most people won't call out. I just love it. I love seeing diversity, and I'm not talking about DEI. I love seeing different races that God made. My children have friends and family, but what I do not
Don't
tolerate
you have black in your family?
I do.
Don't you have Asian in your
I
family?
do. I
Okay.
absolutely do. So I love it. And what people don't know probably about me is my master's degree is in multicultural education. Now, I would never do that now. But that's when I started seeing a problem. I wanted to understand that I've been being told for years, America is going to change from white being the minority. So I thought, I'm an educator. I'm going to take that degree. That degree, even back in the 90s, would be considered so woke because my instructor, I was basically the only white person.
You were
in the
woke
class.
before woke was woke.
I wasn't woke, but my instructor was woke. And I understood. I remember sitting here going, wait a minute, these black people don't like that I'm in this class trying to learn about other cultures because I will admit it. I grew up in St. Charles County and in white USA, and I just wanted to learn something that I didn't know. But here's the deal. Because of people like me who fought and fought and fought to learn things about how America was changing, I'll be damned if now black people are going to be mean to my white children. That is not okay. But you know what? The majority aren't. We hang around, our sphere of
I agree.
influence is very
Yes.
multicultural. My daughter runs track, and there's so many races that run track, and everybody gets along. So it's still the little bitty group of people that
It
do
only
it.
takes one bad apple.
That's right, one bad apple. And I will call you out. If you're a Black person saying mean things about my white part of my family, I'm going to call you out, because everybody should be equal. I'm not talking about equity, but people should be equal, not better than. I don't want Black people, even coming into my family. And, this poor kid, my middle daughter is now dating a Black kid who is in the Navy. And he came into my multiracial family, and he said something just the tiniest bit that sounded like he might be left wing. And my family was like, "Wow!" like all over him. Not about his race, but don't be a liberal. They don't care about his race.
I feel bad for that kid.
Well, he better shape up, or he's going to ship his ass right out. So, yeah, I mean, it has nothing to do with his race. It does have to do with his politics. And it's not about politics anymore. I can get along with anyone, even if they're completely different with me in politics. But if you're going to marry one of my kids, your ideology better not be ruining America. Better not.
Well, it's our political leaders who have allowed this to happen.
Correct.
They're the first ones. Then as Americans, we're to blame because we get too lazy and just think everything is going to be fine. And it's not. And that's why America is changing. Obviously, we've talked about birth rates. We've talked about multiculturalism, which is not bad. It is what it is. The problem is the DEI mindset, the woke ideology mindset, the inner forces that are taking this country down from the inside out. It's the lawlessness. It's the no respect for police. It's the no respect for God. It's the no respect for military. It's the Soros-backed and other backed DAs who are allowing this stuff to happen. Mayors like Tashara Jones, who are more concerned about DEI policies than they are safety. All of this stuff adds up, and it's not all at once. This has been going on for decades now, over and over and over again. Things are not getting better. They're getting worse. That's why we continue to try to talk about it. It started with the media messaging, and then, oh no, we trust things. Things are good. And then of course the comfort happens. But when it comes to this whole illegal stuff, we're seeing more and more every day, which is why we began today when it came to the TikToker and the information that's getting out there and being used. Also, it's another reason why you have some politicians who are against TikTok. They said this kind of shit doesn't happen in China. It doesn't happen in other countries. They allow it to happen in the United States.
Correct. It's purposeful.
To try to help take us down from that standpoint.
That's right.
Which should piss you off and it should anger you. And then it's, but we saw this years ago with AOC. She with no brain, and I'm sorry, she had no brain.
She does
with her voice and a bartender. Oh, now we're going to put you into a spot of position and power. And yesterday, you had Biden's business partner, Hunter Biden's business partner, testifying before Congress, and he was awesome. And nothing's going to be done to the Bidens. They're not. They're untouchable when it comes to the law. It's funny they try to talk about Trump that way, but they just want to stick their head away and not talk about the Bidens. This woman is another reason why America is the way that it is, because there's no freaking brains on that side of the party when it comes to these issues that are going on. She didn't even know what a crime was yesterday. Watch what happened to AOC yesterday when she tried to go after Hunter Biden's business partner, trying to be so cool, try to get Babalinsky here. And he puts her in her place really fast. And then she doesn't allow him to talk when she realizes that she's been made a fool of. But this is another reason why America is the way that it is, because fools like AOC are elected. Cori Bush, Tashara Jones. You see the trend here? Kim Gardner. These things happening over and over and over again. Go ahead and play it, Joe.
Did you witness the president commit a crime? Is it your testimony today?
Yes.
And what crime have you witnessed?
How much time do I have to go through it?
It is simple. You name the crime. Did you watch him steal something?
Corruption statutes, RICO and conspiracy.
What is it? What is the crime, sir?
You
Specifically.
just wait. You keep up. You asked me to answer the question. I answered the question.
No.
RICO, you're obviously not familiar with corruption.
Excuse me,
statute.
sir. Excuse me,
FARA.
sir. Excuse me, sir. RICO is not a crime. It is a category. What is
It's
the
a category of crimes that you're then charged
You
under
have charges.
A long 100.
You
list
have
of
charges.
together a
Did
business
you
deal.
witness the
Would you-
president
you
commit
just-
a
I mean,
crime?
she
Is it
doesn't
your
even know what
testimony
she's
today?
Yes.
Pacific.
And what crime
So
do you
No,
have
Joe,
you
Joe,
witnessed?
How
you
much
can
time
stop.
do I have to go through it?
It is
so she
simple.
doesn't
You-
know what she's talking about. She gets embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to go after him to try to stick up for the Bidens because that's the game plan.
That's
We
right.
credit the Democrats. I'm sorry. They're all, they've got their circle lined up.
They sure do.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how stupid we sound. If we're united,
Mm-hmm.
then we're all stupid, but more numbers mean better. We're more believable if we stay together. She is, as you like to say, insufferable.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Bendy just said it.
Yeah,
As soon
Bendy
as I
said
said it.
I don't think there's a better word for her. Like people are saying she's like chalk on a chalkboard. They can't stand her horsey voice. Pacifically. That's what I'm going to start saying now. When
I mean, I feel bad. Liz, she's uneducated.
She is. Well, I
She
don't feel
was never.
bad for
She was
her.
no. But here's not bad for her. It's just she was raised how she was raised.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't raised well. She wasn't raised with an education. She got thrown into a spot
Correct.
she was not ready for. And here's one thing: it's one thing to get the spot, okay, fine, but another thing to stay there.
Correct.
Now, people say she's on thin ice where she is in her areas, and so many people have gone against her because they said all she was worried about was her money and getting to DC and being on magazines and wearing high fashion and those sorts of things. But she's not the only one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at Cori Bush, how the hell, all of her race rhetoric, I couldn't agree anymore from the chat line when it comes to that. Glenn says she's a finance major from Brown University.
Well, that tells you everything you need to know. Literally.
She doesn't know common English.
Correct. From Brown University.
She is a DEI applicant that is clueless. She can't speak the American language,
Mhm.
the English language. She has no concept of politics, and she's put in that position. Matthew says, know how a politician feels. Pacifically is nice. Pacifically.
Pacifically.
And if that's what Brown is producing, shame on Brown.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
I know two of my good friends who went to Brown, and they're super intelligent. Super
Well, I think
intelligent.
back in the day, you could go to Brown.
But they're not DEI either.
Correct. Well, that's all.
Forgive
that's all
them, they're
now.
white males.
That's oh well, then they're just bad. Well, they would be crucified if they thought anything on the conservative side now being white.
This is true,
male.
Robert. She was drafted by the Young Turks. That is 100% true. Look up the Young Turks. You'll find more about that.
Mhm.
Insufferable and stupid from the chat line shows you that Brown is far from Ivy League. But the Ivy Leagues have all dropped. I mean, Harvard, I'd have to go study Yale. Brown, I mean, they've gone so woke, so DEI. Like I said, I have zero respect for Harvard.
Me too.
We're such an esteemed institution that we're going to bring one of the dumbest mayors ever,
Correct.
Lori Lightfoot out of Chicago, here to
Mhm.
teach. She did classes at Harvard.
Mhm.
Lori Lightfoot.
That's ridiculous.
Crickets. Screw Harvard.
Mhm.
I mean, seriously.
I agree.
Harvard is a bunch of bullshit artists. It's the Ivy League is not what it once was.
I
It's
agree.
just not.
No, it
It's
isn't.
not. It's not. And I hate to say that.
No, I mean,
Maybe there's some hope for Yale. I
well,
don't
and
know.
if somebody came up to me, one of my kids said, "Hey, I'm going to go to Harvard." I'm like, "Hey, you're not, unless you're going to get Joe Biden to pay for your education, because not any Sparks money is going to go to that university." But none of my kids would even ask to go there. It's not impressive.
And
It
not
really
because
isn't.
they're not intelligent enough.
No, it's because it's so woke. I mean, nobody likes woke anymore.
So the whole testifying went on yesterday. I mean, the Bidens were ripped to shreds.
Mhm.
National media won't cover it. We will. We just want the facts to be out there. If you don't think that Joe Biden is guilty, and by the way, Joe Biden was called the big guy by Bob Alinsky yesterday. He said 100%. The text messages, emails, messages show, yes, the big guy was Joe Biden who was receiving the money. Just listen to Representative Donalds break this down. He is an extremely smart man, African-American conservative from the state of Florida. He's also on the short list that I saw for Donald Trump's VP picks.
Mm.
Remember I said Tulsi Gabbard was on there?
Yeah,
What I found what was interesting is Tim Scott,
yeah,
African-American,
correct.
Byron Donalds, African-American man, Kristi Noem, a female, Tulsi Gabbard. Those were 4 that were on the list. And then I saw another one come into the mix yesterday. And not that we get all worked up about VP picks when it comes to Donald Trump, Marco Rubio, which is funny.
Yeah, that
But
actually,
it's funny to me. I'm like, oh, Marco
Yeah.
Rubio.
Uh-huh.
Really? I mean,
Yeah.
that name's been quiet for quite some
he
time.
has been quiet.
Although he did have, and I stole it from him. I may have said it on the show regarding Joe Biden's speech a couple weeks ago.
Hmm.
Marco Rubio labeled it a proof of life speech.
Approve.
I'm gonna yell. I'm angry. I'm here. I'm alive. My heart's still beating. Rawr. So I've been copying him and saying that because that's exactly what it is.
Hmm.
Anyway, here you go. Representative Donald's breaking down the corruption, the Biden crime syndicate beautifully. But of course, national media won't show you this right here.
Now, to the money flow, because this is where the rubber meets the road. On August 3rd, they actually stipulate through WhatsApp text messages the exact stipulations of the deal. On August 4th, $100,000 is wired into Owasco PC from CEFC infrastructure. Mr. Chairman, I want to submit for the record a portion of the bank statement for the time period August 3rd of 2017 to August 31, 2017, stipulating $100,000 going from CEFC into the bank account of Hunter Biden through Owasco PC.
With that objection, so ordered.
On August 8th, 4 days later, $5 million is then transferred from the Northern International Capital account of $5 million to Hudson West III. Hudson West III is a bank account controlled by Hunter Biden and Mr. Gong Wang, a.k.a. Kevin Dong, who is a CEFC associate. That money comes from the Northern International Capital bank account that is tied to the CCP. Mr. Chairman, I want to submit for the record the bank statement demonstrating that transfer.
Without objection, so ordered.
Okay, moving on. On August 8th, the same time period, there is a wire transfer of $400,000 to Owasco PC from the Hudson West III bank account. That $400,000, Mr. Chairman, I have the transfer records in the bank accounts from the August time period. I want to submit that for the record.
Without objection, so ordered.
Now, here's where the fun stuff comes in, everybody, and I got a minute to do it, so we're going to get this done. On August 14th, there is $150,000 that is transferred from Owasco PC, which is controlled by Hunter Biden, to Lion Hall Group, which is controlled by James Biden. I have the records here, Mr. Chairman, of the $150,000 that has gone to Lion Hall Group from Owasco PC. I want to submit that for the record.
Without objection, so ordered.
On August 28th, and I believe we have a screenshot for everybody in the room. On August 28th, Mr. Chairman, we have the withdrawal ticket from Lion Hall Group that is signed by Sarah Biden, who is the wife of Jim Biden, for $50,000 to withdraw from Lion Hall Group. I want to submit that withdrawal receipt for the record.
Without objection, so ordered.
On September 3rd, on August 28th, actually, Mr. Chairman, we have the deposit reference into Sarah Jones Biden's account on the same day she withdrew it from Lion Hall. I want to submit
Without
that from the
objection,
record.
so ordered.
Last document. On September 3rd, 2007, from Sarah Biden's own personal account, there is a check that is written to Joseph Robinette Biden, Jr., the President of the United States today, for $40,000, signed loan repayment. A loan repayment, by the way, that Joe Biden's own personal accountant, Mr. Eric Schwerin, has no record for. I want to submit that for the record, Mr. Chairman.
Without objection, so ordered.
To the members of the committee, it is clear that the source of this money came from CEFC, and that CEFC is a company that is directly linked to the CCP and actually the chairman of the CCP, the chairman of the Chinese Communist Party, Chairman Xi Jinping. With that, I yield.
Representative Donald's, first of all, he's an extremely intelligent man. He's not afraid of anybody. I first saw him speak on the steps at the Capitol. The man is unafraid. And, you know, Lizzie could produce that evidence and present it. I could present that. Byron Donalds did a magnificent job in the time allotted to him of showing the corruption. It's there. Democrats can't deny it. You can't. Even the Democrats that are sitting there going, damn, how are we going to lie about this? Because they know it's real. And guess what? All the money that the Bidens have received from these outside countries, guess what? There's no work.
Mm-hmm.
There's no work. There's no invoices. There's no work. There's just depositing of money, depositing of money, depositing of money. This wouldn't work for the average person, but it worked for Hunter. And you notice he's been quiet. And Hunter Biden didn't show up yesterday. Of course he didn't.
Of course he
They
did.
don't care about law because they know they're above it with this DOJ. If Trump was in office, their asses would be behind bars, and all the bullshit that's been thrown at Trump would be thrown at them, except it would be real and credible because there is hardcore evidence. Yet they want to go, oh, Trump, he inflated his company. Give me a freaking break. This is crime. And it's crime at the highest level. God knows how our country has been infiltrated and what secrets have been sold and what information. Gee, I think back to balloons flying over our country. And what kind of access China has had. What Hunter Biden was able to do with his dad. Oh, I can't remember. His own accountant didn't have the money. No receipts. This is going to Biden, taking it, doing it by himself. Great job, Byron Donalds. You are a rock star. Yes, that man, people are talking about him for president someday as well.
Well, and that's where he has to be, meaning Donald Trump, really has to care about who the VP is. Because in years past, I didn't care as much. But Donald Trump only has 4 years. So we need someone that will carry on after him, and he could do it. I mean, he's wonderful. I haven't heard that he was on the short list, but if he is,
he's been. It's been written. He is on the short list.
Well,
there is
that's
no doubt about it. Byron Donalds.
Love it.
And not just because he's a quote DEI guy. Oh, he's a black conservative, because liberals and black liberals will try to beat him down. Hell, there's white people who have been nasty as hell to Tim Scott, but their liberal left white people won't call them out for it. If you're a conservative, oh, we'll let you say whatever you want to say about this black man because he doesn't feel like we do. And ask those black men and women who are conservatives who the hate comes from. It's not from white people. It's from or white conservatives. It's from white liberals.
I
and it's from black liberals.
They're black liberals are the worst to a black conservative. I mean, white liberals are too, but there is nothing worse than a black liberal going after a white or a black conservative. They're awful. They call them Uncle Toms. And
wait a minute, you mean blacks? It's black on black and it's white on black if you're liberal.
Correct. Yes, it is. But the black liberal is the worst to a black conservative.
Glenn reminds us that they've always been attacking Clarence Thomas since he joined the court. The Brett Kavanaugh bullshit has started back up again because the left, the Democrats want more liberal judges. And you have that liar, Christine Blasey or Blase,
whatever,
with no corroborated stories. Her best witness said, I had no recollection of it. Once again, just a word. Same thing that E. Jean Carroll did to Trump. Let's start the bullshit. She shows back up. Guess what? She's had all kinds of facial work done. And where did they put her on? The View? Of course. Attack the good people. It's the Democrat playbook from the get-go. It is. This is what happens when it comes to the national offices. The Supreme Court is a really big deal. And we've seen that. And they have a lot of power. Some people think too much power, but they have a lot of power. So we go after those guys. Brett Kavanaugh, Republican man. Clarence Thomas, being a black man, has been attacked for his entire life, literally by congressmen and congresswomen who are Democrats going after him that would never be allowed if he was a liberal black man. People would lose their jobs. They would have tried to cancel them. That happens. Roland, a black man, says, doesn't matter. Uncle Tom is the hero.
Correct. Uncle Tom is the hero. And absolutely. And the expectations, what is it? What is the saying? Soft bigotry of low expectations. That is exactly what an Uncle Tom is seen as. And
that's what DEI is.
Yeah, you got that right.
Todd says Supreme Court better step up and support Texas in arresting illegals once again. I'll be shocked if they don't. And once again, we broke that story down yesterday. It's a legal process. Big Bad Brad and his Big Bad Mike will be coming on to explain that in a couple of weeks when they rule on that, to make sure that was going to go down. And that says that was BS. Theater of lies. Brett Kavanaugh was put through hell. Not only him, but his entire family. From the chat line, keep attacking. For liberals is to take conservatives off the future field of jobs. They still win. Who wants to go through this hell? Of course you don't.
A lot of people won't go through the hell because the attacks that you get when you are a good conservative come from every angle. Blacks, whites, Hispanics, even, conservatives attack each other. And so it is very rough to run as a conservative these days.
It's tough. It doesn't mean that it's not worth it.
No, it's worth it.
When you see our country, yeah, somebody's got to do it.
Somebody has to do it.
I mean, somebody had to sign up to go fight for this country when Pearl Harbor was attacked.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wanted to go to war.
No.
Women had to step up and do the jobs that they had to do while many men were away fighting, doing whatever they could for this country. It's just a different type right now. You've got to find a way to make a difference, or you can just keep your head in the sand and all right, those are there, or well, whatever. But the families do not deserve that. They don't deserve that hell either. Somebody's got to stand up and take account for what we have in this country, or and you already see it. It's not great what's going on here. It's not good what's going on here. It's bad, and it's hellish what's happening right here. Kevin says Missouri needs to step up and deport illegals to Martha's Vineyard. Of course, David Gregory told us about his legislation that he's trying to get passed here in the state just a few days ago, if and when he becomes state senate. So, there are people who are trying to do things that make sense, trying to help this country. Peg says the difference between now and then is the enemy is within.
That is scary, but she's right. The enemy's
And it was
here.
It was the plan from the start to do all of this.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to show you this reporter from the Blaze and what the DOJ is trying, the FBI is trying to do to him. And what they did to try to make an example of him, because dare he show video of January 6th on the Blaze. He's a reporter from the Blaze. He was out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and now lives in Dallas. Still to come, we're going to show you how difficult it is for St. Louis police to deal with not even illegals, but people who just don't care what it's like to do that job. Some better news. Fani Willis, just wait to hear what the judge has done there, showing that he's not going to be a lapdog in Georgia, or at least that's the sign right now. Trump getting the best down there with what they're trying to do. And also, where's the other situation we've got there? Yeah, so we'll bring that video up in just a second, but I want to give a shout out to our advertisers. And we're always looking for more advertisers, sponsors, people that want to partner with us. Vic at canceltheshow.com, Lizzie at canceltheshow.com. We've got experienced real estate partners, Kathy Helbig Strict and Steve Strict with New American Funding, powered by Score Mortgage. Big news in the real estate industry yesterday. Now you can have dual jobs. You can be a real estate agent and get money on the mortgage side as well. Steve saw this coming. He put a plan together. You can give them a call, 314-276-SOLD, 314-276-SOLD. Get up to date on all the new real estate business, what's happening when you have to buy a house, sell a house. It's so difficult to do it by yourself. You don't even want to try to even attempt to do that. It's window season. Renewal by Anderson, your St. Louis window and door replacement experts. Try them out. And by the way, if you go to our website and contact the sponsor, they work with people all over America. And when you work with them, you help us out as well. 0 payment, 0 interest, 24 months, no charge for them coming out and doing an appointment to tell you, hey, if you did new windows, this is how much you'll save. This is what your home will be worth right now as well. Route 66 Cannabis, your fast lane to the Midwest premier cannabis shopping experience. 5 locations throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. When it comes to the Cubana line, it's one of the most popular in the state. There's a reason why. Ham takes care of those plants. He has shown us the video and the pictures of how they get the best plants possible for the flower products, and they've always got plenty of flower in, as it's the most popular brand they sell. How about WeQuip USA, peer-to-peer rental marketplace where renters go to search for items they need that their neighbors might not have. Literally, WeQuip USA, you can rent items in your neighborhood. It's a website that connects people. You can also put your own products up for sale and make some money. And then, of course, there's Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley. We're talking about some of the best pizza, burgers, wings, smoked meat served in their saloon or on their outdoor patio. One of the best neighborhood bars that you're going to find. Always a good time, great service, good people. And you just feel comfortable. And that's why people who go there, they go back. It's not a place where you go just one time. It's a place where people drive to as well. And it certainly serves all of the West County area. This is canceltheshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks. Projo taking care of the boards. We love it, Projo. You direct it very well. The shots look great. We sound great. And it doesn't matter if whether you're here or in Africa, you can get this job done, which is really good.
It is very cool.
We appreciate you guys doing there. Kevin says, right? Did you see? Oh, Fanny's witness, Vic. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
We're going to get to Fanny's witness in just a second. And just more of the BS bullshit stuff that is being done to Donald Trump. But before we do that, how about Donald Trump? How about a good thing? How about a positive thing? Joe Biden video. We already know what Joe Biden does. This is Joe Biden. He like walks around. He's got new tennis shoes. You know, my God love him. My grandpa, before he passed away, he had to have those big tennis shoes and the big soles, to make sure people can walk straight.
Yeah,
This is
you
the
don't fall.
Joe Biden. He's all over the place. Here's my leader. This is the kind of guy you want. A guy that steps up to bury a putt to win the club championship. Donald Trump. For taking a seriously long, I don't know,
One time.
and burying the putt.
Wow. And he's
Holy shit!
And even if he couldn't putt and he is a strong leader, but not only is he a strong leader, in this country was so much better for years, he can step up and drain a putt when the pressure's on. He can walk, he can talk, he can bend his knees, he can bend his back.
Yes.
He can actually move, he can show some life, some vitality, some energy. That's what we're talking about right there.
Yes.
With all the negative out there, we just had to show some positivity. Matthew says, as I said yesterday, Winties is the Cheers of the Chesterfield Valley. Oh, so that's right. He was there yesterday. Greg says that putt was huge on camera. A man who lives for the moment, a man who just, he gets things done.
He sure does.
You like that?
I do. I like it. A man that gets things done.
He can count to 10. Connie says, Lizzie,
he has balls.
He's got balls.
He's got balls. He does not have a vagina either. He has balls. That's right. He is who he says he is. He's a man. I've not actually seen his balls, but Melania has.
Oh my God.
He has balls.
Here we go. Well, we might as well jump into the Trump stuff right now. That whole case in Georgia, which has been a disaster from the get-go. Fani lost her lead investigator after they were having sex. They cheated the system. They lied. They broke the law. They're trying to get away with it right now. He had to get off the case. And guess what? She may not be on that case for very much longer either. And I don't think her black church is going to accept her back in, talking about how all the white racist people are going after her. And it's interesting. You find out about people's character when they immediately go to the race card, which is what Fani did. Race to the black church. How dare them come after a black woman? And that's what she did. Was it that funny?
I thought so. I like that voice.
But that's what she was yelling at. No, they're racist. I mean, no, it was wrong. You don't.
I know.
Division is too prevalent in this country. That's the
right.
last thing you should be doing.
I agree.
Jesse Walters.
Well, it's Jesse Waters.
Jesse Waters.
You're just too consumed with that voice. He added an L to his name.
He broke this situation down last night.
It's good.
Why does Robert say wow, Vic?
Probably how you were. You should have heard yourself. It was hilarious when you did that voice. That was a wow. That was good. Projo
needs to cue up the song AC/DC, Big Balls.
Yeah. Play it for 10 seconds. Don't go up to 11 or we'll get off of the book of faces.
Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to leave Joe alone because we're going to play this video now with Jesse Waters.
Okay, Jay.
Breaking down this whole situation with Fani Willis, what's happening with the judge now, and Donald Trump. This is just how it goes.
Fani Willis having a pretty tough week. Friday, Loverboy was forced to quit the Trump Georgia case, and Fani may not be far behind. Today, Trump's legal team appealed the Fani Willis disqualification, taking it all the way to the Georgia Supreme Court. And then things got worse. Yesterday, during a different trial involving a RICO case, remember AOC, with a popular rap artist, her star witness showed up too high to testify.
Man, can I get a water or something? I'm so high right now, y'all. I'm about to go to sleep on y'all ass.
Oh my gosh.
Fani put that man on the stand. The alleged getaway driver during an armed robbery. That guy was her star witness. That was Fanny's star witness. And he's got a worse memory than Nathan Wade and Joe Biden combined. This has to be the jankiest jurisprudence south of the Mason-Dixon line we've ever seen.
What a shit show, according to the chat line. I love the fact that Jesse refuses to call her Fawny and still calls her Fanny.
Yeah, I call her Fanny too. I can't call her Fawny. I don't
I
know
try
why.
I try to call everybody by their name.
You do.
If that's how their mom, dad named them, whatever.
You know what? Speaking of Fawny, Fanny, Fawny, whatever her name is, I bet her mom is so proud right now of her boyfriend, of the stoned friend, witness she had.
Who's going to put a stoned
Ugh.
guy? I mean, overstoned. I mean, he might have been in, literally the Route 66 dispensary, one of their 5 locations, for hours.
He was in there for hours. Getting stoned off his gourd. I mean,
effing hilarious. Run all of this with Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle should be doing it. I was going to testify, but then I got high. What a shit show. You could tell Jesse Waters loved covering that story. Who wouldn't?
yes. Yeah, that's great.
Because the national media is not going to tell you that. Hope to God stations in Atlanta did. Hope their newspapers are doing that as well. Megan says Fani is a thug with a law degree. And by the way, as we know, getting a law degree is not that big of a deal anymore.
No, it used to be. But
it's not now. Granted, I know people who actually study for the bar, but as we told you yesterday, the state of Washington now says they're going to do away with the bar because it's mean to minorities.
yeah, it hurts their feelings.
It's not nice. Not enough minorities are able to become lawyers because the test is too hard. That's a legitimate story. That's not us saying that. That is fact. Once again, in the state of Washington, they're doing away with the bar test because it's not nice to minorities because not enough minorities are becoming lawyers. Okay. How about that stuff? So that case, I'm telling you, it's falling apart. They have no ground. They never had ground.
No.
They never, just like Judge Ignorant didn't in New York. There's not ground. E. Jean Carroll had no credibility. It was a judge who was basically telling the jury what they needed to do, putting that high total up that he had to pay. No, we're not joking, Roland. This stuff is actually happening. It's a bunch of crap that continues over and over and over again, because this is what happens when you have DAs like this and they don't care about what's happening. For example, in St. Louis, this is just a city that's like many others, which is why we are always going to support our police as much as we can and promote them as much as we can. I love it when I hate to see these videos, but I love them because it goes to show you what's actually happening in our streets. And then we're going to add the illegal immigrant, illegal migrant, illegals period to the mix, and it's going to get worse. Check out this video from overnight with what St. Louis City Police are dealing with. This is just one little thing. We've seen all kinds of videos, but you just don't, it's so difficult. This is why when police walk up to your car, when they pull you over, why they may look ominous because they don't know what's on the other side. These are your loved ones, your friends, your family members who are dealing with this. Watch this video. They got a call. They're out doing their job. People just don't comply, and they just try to do it, and they don't care. Here's the incident from Fox 2.
Police making a dramatic arrest. One officer hangs onto a suspect's car while it leaves the scene, and another gives chase on foot. Fox 2's Kelly Hoskins has the exclusive video as police catch a package thief.
This is exclusive video of a suspect caught on camera. St. Louis police say this is the moment their officer tried to stop a package thief. You can see the police officer grabbing onto the door handle of a male suspect's car. He's wanted for multiple home and car break-ins in St. Louis City. The surveillance video was captured by the Central West End Neighborhood Association around 3 Wednesday morning.
There. We can get out of there now, Joe, because you see what happens. Literally driving away while the police are trying to pull him. And then guess what? If the thief made the officer feel as if that he was in a bad spot and the officer shot, the officer would be in trouble. The officer would be looked upon as being some racist guy. That's what police are dealing with. That's the kind of bullshit that needs to be shown, because this happens more often than not. If you know police and you talk to them, they say this happens most of the time. People don't comply because of the lawless society that we're in. And it's all part of what's gotten worse under Joe Biden.
Well, and they're told, people are telling their kids, don't comply. The police officers are not just calling them pigs anymore. They're calling them even worse names. And people are raising their kids now. Nothing's going to happen to you. Do not comply. So just do whatever you want to do. People are raising their kids to be.
Well, and
like
if it's
that.
not even the parents, it's the communities as well.
You're
the
right.
communities that
You're
they
right.
live in, because they've seen what DAs are doing or not doing.
And what they're not doing.
They see what the mayor is doing or not doing. Once again, I'll say it as much as I possibly can. Just remember, checking doors, whether they're locked or not on cars in the city of St. Louis, is legal.
Yeah. And Tara saying, oh, we'd have riots if the perp was shot.
And in my humble opinion, the officer would have had every right to use force, extreme force in that situation. He got drug in that car.
Yes, he did.
For a while. If there was ever a point where an officer could use force and use his weapon, I believe that is it on that video.
I agree. I mean, that car was dragging him over a package. And now I would like to know what was in that package.
Well, it wasn't just, it's, you don't want to go to jail. I mean, he was wanted for multiple deals.
And he knows he's going to, well, he thinks he could go to jail. But I would still like, when these porch pirates go and steal, do they know what's in them, or do they just go, and they can get it? And it literally could be a box of Depends or something. And you're going to go to jail for something like that. I mean, I would love to know. I would love to speak to someone that just goes and steals things off of people's porches. Do they know? Can they hack into their Amazon accounts, or do they just randomly steal stuff off?
Oh, but this stuff happens all the time. I
Every
mean,
day, every single day it happens.
I've never had a package taken off a porch.
I haven't either. My daughter has, but I've not ever had one. But then again, my daughter lives in the city, so of course she has packages taken off of her front porch.
Are you? And she's had packages taken off.
Or not even delivered at all, and they're just delivered to somewhere else. But more times than not, they're just stolen. So of course, and then she's like, yeah. So now she has all of her stuff delivered to our house, so she has to drive 40 minutes to pick up a package because she's afraid that someone's going to steal stuff off of her porch.
Damn. Damn.
Yeah.
People don't care what's in the package. It's something's better than nothing. That's kind of what it is. You just hope that you're going to get something that's good. But we're trying to bring these things up once again when we can. Do not forget what police are doing on a daily job over and over and over again. And because police are more afraid to encounter or go through, and when I say afraid, not afraid of the job, they're afraid what would happen to them if they go after that, where they would be put in a situation to use force and then do something where then their life, their family's life, their kids' lives is all changed forever because they did their job. And then you have groups that try to call them racist or bad police and then follow them everywhere they go and try to ruin their lives. Tara says regarding the packages, that's why Amazon offers pickup lockers now.
Yeah, that is so true. A lot of places have the pickup lockers now, or you can even
instead of changing crime, instead of attacking crime and taking out the problem, we'll just go away from the crime.
That's right. We'll just put it somewhere.
But damn, it's not Amazon's fault. It's
it's
DA's fault. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. What were you going to say?
No, just that same thing. There, people are now having to go out of their way to get their packages because exactly what you said. We're not fighting crime, so we have to figure alternative ways to get our packages. Because it was great before when you could get the packages right on your front porch, and many still can, but a lot can't, and so you have to go to pickup places.
Lisa says, I have them come to my work, but friggin' Amazon drivers won't come inside our office building and leave the packages outside behind a shrub. Yeah, I'm just curious if I've never had a package, but I never ordered a bunch. If what people are doing regarding that, because this guy in the video we showed, this thief, I mean, obviously it's one thing to be a porch pirate. It's another one to put an officer's life at risk. I mean, that should be attempted murder. When an officer is trying to get you out of a car and you're driving, you put him at risk. He had every right to take out his weapon and subdue the threat. Fortunately for that thief, he did not. because many people would think he deserved to be unalived at that point in time.
Correct. And like Mindy's saying in the chat line, that's why her son left being a police officer a few years ago. And that's sad because he was a great cop. And that happens a lot. I have so many friends, kids that were an officer or they themselves were an officer and they're not doing it anymore because it's just not worth it. It really isn't. And that's sad. It's hard to find people to even go in the police forces right now because there is no respect for them at all.
From the chat line, we had a bed platform delivered yesterday and couldn't even pick it up. I was like, no one is stealing this sucker.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no one's stealing that.
No, it is. Another comment from the chat line. Yep, that's why my son left the police, as you said. And then remember when police gave out baseball cards, we had ride-along citizens, Popo academies. Yeah, they still do those.
They still have that in St. Charles County and all over the United States. They still have, police academy, like junior
I did
academies.
a story. Yeah, I did a story with that. I remember Baldwin Mayor Kevin Scott. He did that, and
Yeah.
and people did it. People would do ride-alongs on a weekly basis. Tara says my packages can sit on my porch for a week. I live on a hill.
That's great. Good.
I like the videos where people put packages out there and try to set up bad people.
Yeah, I like that.
It's just like fishing. You go out to fish, you put the hook, and then you just wait for them. And then if there's bad people, they're going to set the hook themselves.
They are going to set the hooks themselves.
My son left the force to become a paramedic. Gosh, it just, those things we get too much of it, too much of the bad stuff. Maryland Heights in the St. Louis metropolitan area has a citizens academy as well. I appreciate the stories and the jackets. Terry says, I ordered a Patagonia jacket at Christmas. Very nice jacket. The UPS driver took a picture of a wall saying it was delivered. I called right away and they told me lots of temporary workers stole packages. But they sent me a new jacket immediately.
That is interesting. You do hear that more about Christmas, that around Christmas, that there'll be these temporary drivers for UPS or, FedEx or whatever, and they steal the packages.
I love this idea. Hey, everybody, box up your donations.
Right. Box them up. That's a great idea. Yeah, if you're going to get it stolen.
Why not?
Yeah, box them up. Let them have your donations.
Hell, we'll give it to you. Come take it.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, if you're looking for trouble, if you're out looking for trouble, you deserve anything that you get. You do. Once again, if you go out looking for trouble, looking to cause crime, looking to commit crime, you deserve anything that you get. Packages sit on my neighbor's porch for weeks and not touched. Plus, my neighbors leave their garage doors open for days. That coming from Trish. Trish, okay, I'm glad that they can do that. But I think time is limited, and I don't think that's a smart idea anymore.
Correct.
I just don't.
I was guilty of always leaving our garage door up and all of that. And now I wouldn't do it because in my own backyard, so to speak, is where these illegals are stabbing people.
We started that with the show today. We showed you the video of the TikToker telling illegals how to take over homes now. It's not just going to stop all of a sudden. Things are going to get worse. People are going to continue to try to do things. And police are overrun. I did hear Democrats talking about, well, Texas, they don't have the police force to now take illegals within the state and deport them. That's going to take them away from other activities they should be doing. I'm like, give me an effing break. Are you kidding me? That's your excuse? That's some of the side from the Democrat as well.
That's right.
I could make a box when I clean my car's litter box.
Or cats.
Cats.
Cats litter box.
Written cars. Yeah. And but then you hope somebody's going to, I don't know.
If you probably shouldn't do that if nobody gets stolen. But if you continually have a porch pirate, I think that's a great idea.
The glitter stink bombs are awesome too.
Yeah, those are
You've
great.
seen those videos.
Oh yeah, I sent
the box
one of those
explodes.
to someone.
What you did? What?
I sent one of those to someone before.
What do you mean you sent it?
Well, okay. So my son was engaged to this girl that none of us really liked. And when my son broke up with her, she stole some, like my father's.
Okay. Before you say this, is this a crime?
No.
Okay, good. Then go ahead. I didn't want you to implicate yourself.
No crime. Didn't do anything that you can't do. So you could buy these glitter bombs. And it wasn't really a stink bomb, but someone that I might happen to know might have sent her one.
So what happens? You open a box And
and it just the glitter goes everywhere. Now, honestly, if somebody did that to me, I would kind of think it's cute, but the mess that takes you days to clean up that glitter. Mhm. So, I mean, so if anybody wonders what I've only done it once. But you know what? It made her give my dad's ring back because she's like, "I know you did it." And I was like, but I got it back.
Oh, they were engaged?
Yeah, they were engaged. And so, well, it's not even that. She came into the house and stole a whole box of rings.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. So I there wasn't anything I could do about it because the police said it was my word against hers. So she got glitter bombed. So I showed her.
You are an animal. I'm glad you told me that. It'll remind me.
Yeah.
Don't cross Lizzie Sparks.
Because you're going to get a glitter bomb. That's what you're going to get. I've only done it once.
Or worse.
No, I've never done anything worse.
By the way, we were talking about what happened to Donald Trump before we move on to this next story. This is a great point from the chat line. Of course, with what happened to Donald Trump's New York judgment, of course, the $454 million. The next day, the governor, Kathy Hochul, told businesses, oh, everything's fine. Literally said, we're not going to treat you like we did Donald Trump. Stay here. Everything's fine. Well, they lost about $1 billion within a week. At least businesses are like, I'm out of here. Shark Tank host Kevin O'Leary, who's been very outspoken, super businessman, talked about how it was a crime. The true crime was what was done to Donald Trump, and said that New York City would suffer. Mr. Peterbaugh says New York City is committing suicide. They're committing a bad situation for themselves financially. Reminds me of the once great city-state of Hong Kong. I wonder if done on purpose to move the World Financial Center to London, maybe Singapore, the Middle East, like in Saudi or Kuwait. Very interesting. Tear down New York, because we've seen the tearing down of New York for quite some time. Interesting point. So I did see that, and I wanted to get that out there. We've already seen what started to happen, and what happened on January 6th, many years ago, or a few years ago, was a plan. And there's been all kinds of evidence to prove that it was. And people can debate all day long. But how dare anybody report on it? And that's what happened to a certain reporter with the Blaze. Tucker Carlson had this reporter on last night to talk about what happened to him. And this whole situation with video, with what he did with the Blaze, should blow your freaking mind. We're talking about convicted or brought up on charges of a misdemeanor, literally a misdemeanor, and then put into a very bad situation of what happened. When Pro Joe, you can bring this up. You can bring it up, and he'll talk about what happened. We're going to show you what's going on. The FBI is treating this reporter worse than convicted murderers because he posted video of J6 on Blaze. He's a Blaze reporter who was put into this situation. So Tucker interviewed him on what happened. And if this doesn't make you angry, maybe a little scared of what the FBI can do, I don't know what would. But we picked this interview up with Steve Baker because he was finally released from the courthouse. But what they did to him is just sickening. Here it is.
The big one. So I stepped out into the hallway there at the Rayburn building and called my attorney, and he said, they want you to self-surrender next week in my hometown of Raleigh, North Carolina. So the Blaze went into high gear. We did another media offensive, had millions of views of this the story that we were telling about me having to self-surrender, and they backed off yet again. We got another call the next day from the FBI saying that they were going to put that off until sometime after Christmas. Once again, we didn't hear from them for 2 months until 2 weeks ago, we got the notice that I was going to have to self-surrender this time, and this time it was for real. They actually said that it was only going to be for misdemeanor charges, the 4 basic misdemeanors that all the low-level January 6 offenders get. And because I happen to be working here in Dallas right now, where Blaze is headquarters, we decided to go ahead and do my self-surrender here at the FBI field office. So they didn't raid me. They didn't come out to my hotel or to the Blaze studios. We went down to the FBI field office and submitted myself. The interesting thing, Tucker, is that in the notice from the assistant U.S. attorney to my lead attorney, is that they wanted me to show up at the field office, and I quote, wearing shorts, T-shirt, and flip-flops.
What?
And I knew what that meant. That meant that they were probably going to change me into the orange jumpsuit and that I would then be leg shackled, because the plan was for the FBI to process me there at the field office, put me in a car, take me downtown to the courthouse where they would hand me over to the U.S. Marshals, and then I would wait in a cell until I was marched before the magistrate in front of the in front of the whole court. And so what ended up taking place is that my attorney negotiated with the two FBI agents in advance of me surrendering. I did not have to get into an orange jumpsuit. I showed up with a jacket, tie, slacks, dress shoes. They made me take off my shoelaces, my belt, and my tie, and then hand my jacket over to my attorney. Then they allowed me to wear my own shirt, my own trousers. They handcuffed me, fingerprinted me, marched me out to the car, which has been seen on camera. Took me to the courthouse, handed me over to the U.S. Marshals, and that's where they put the leg chains, the belt chain, belted my wrist, chained my wrist to my stomach, and then sat me in a jail cell with a meth dealer.
Wow.
It's hard to believe any of that's real. A couple of questions. One, what's the name of the assistant U.S. attorney who did this?
Adam Dreher, out of D.C.
Yeah, Adam Dreher, I hope becomes famous. It's not a threat, but I think we deserve to know who is doing this. I mean, the state of Texas has more than 1 million illegal invaders in it.
That's
right
my
now.
point.
There are also an awful lot of murders in the state of Texas, and so this is what they're spending their time doing. I have to ask, did any of the FBI agents, we always hear that, the line agents are good guys, did any of the U.S. Marshals say to you, I'm embarrassed that I'm chaining you to your own stomach on a misdemeanor charge for something that isn't actually a crime? Did anyone betray any acknowledgement that this is like all a farce?
The two agents that processed me did not do that. I have received messages from retired whistleblowing agents all over the country apologizing to me for the behavior of the agency they were once proud of. I will tell you that while they were patting me down and going through the process, I did chat with them, and I asked them point blank. I said, so how often do you do this to misdemeanor defendants? The first time there was a little bit of mumbling, and then I kind of reiterated. I said, is it normal, or do you do and process misdemeanor defendants on a regular basis? As they're patting me down, they were dead silent, and of course, that's because we know the answer, Tucker.
Yeah. How about speak up, son? I pay your salary. Like, how dare you treat me this way as an American citizen? Seriously, they didn't answer your question.
In the 100-year history of that agency, 100+ year history of that, they never processed misdemeanor defendants of any kind, particularly non-violent misdemeanor defendants. That's not what they do. I mean, every single FBI agent will tell you that when they joined the agency, they were told that they were on this planet and in this country to go after the whales, not the tiny little minnows.
But why don't they quit?
Me.
That's what I don't understand. I mean, I've always respected law enforcement on principle and FBI agents, I guess, on principle. But if you're participating in a system that's just political tyranny, which is what it is, there's nothing justice related about any of this. It's Joe Biden putting his critics behind bars. How can you live with yourself? Like, isn't at a certain point it their responsibility too?
I've been analyzing that, the answer to that question for quite some time now. And the only answer I have is that we're now into a generation of special agents and even special agents in charge that came in after the Patriot Act, that came in during the Obama administration, that came in after the politicization was overwhelming at the top in the leadership. And in fact, now in most of the field offices, those in charge are political operatives by and large, Tucker. And so that's the answer. Now, we'll tell you this, when I got to the courthouse, one of the U.S. Marshals processing me down there, he actually looked at my paperwork and he said point blank, "This is bullshit."
Yeah, well,
And
he's right.
Thank
He's
God.
right, and good for him.
yeah, and I said, and then he said, and I will tell you what else is bullshit. He said, we process a lot of these. He said, you guys, you J6ers, and he said, I think that former President Trump should be paying for every one of your legal fees.
Well, I agree with that too. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
And I think it's, yeah, I strongly agree with that.
Okay,
so,
we can
yeah,
get
I
out
mean,
right
I think
there. You see
should
what
be-
happened to him now. A misdemeanor charge,
Mhm.
wanting to put him in orange jumpsuits. Now, keep in mind,
Unbelievable.
he was, and I saw this on the chat line too. He hasn't been with the Blaze all that long, and he wasn't with the Blaze on J6.
Mhm.
He was just an independent guy.
Correct.
He
I don't
wasn't
even
some
think he was-
hardcore right guy.
No, he wasn't.
He was allowed in his video from inside the Capitol. So he was inside the Capitol with others.
Mhm.
Once all of this stuff started to come out against him, obviously he went with the Blaze. And this is the kind of crazy stuff that's more concerned about a videographer,
Mhm.
not even a protester, a videographer, a reporter, a journalist. He's a journalist, not even a commentator, a journalist,
Mhm.
not even an opinionated, a journalist
Yeah.
shooting video and gets a misdemeanor charge and is treated as if
Correct.
he's a murderer.
Right.
This is where we connect the dots. Illegals being allowed to do whatever the hell that they want.
Mhm.
Illegals doing this, doing that, murderers getting off of charges. And then this guy being asked to surrender so they could put him in orange jumpsuits
Mhm.
because he shot real video of January 6th
Yes.
to try to make an example of anybody and everybody.
Because they don't want out what he did, and they want to scare people so they don't ever do it again. And it's tragic. There's somebody right in the town right next to me who I keep trying to get on the show, and he wants to come out and tell his truth because he was there on J6. He didn't even go into the Capitol. And what they did to him, he said, was the most humiliating thing, and he still can't get over it. Went to his work, barged on his house, just like Christmas Vacation, jumped on his roof, kicked in his windows. He lost his job. It's been through a living hell, but he said he was, on the side of having more money than some of the people that went there. So he was able to hire the best attorneys and got out within about a week. But even then, he was there for a week, ruined his life, lost his job. And he said, here's the tragic part. He wants to tell his story, but they are threatening to come back and do it again. And he said that's why he doesn't want to come on our podcast, because he's afraid that if he shows his face, this will happen to his kids again. He said it wouldn't bother him if it was just him, but it humiliated his entire family.
No, I get it. And this
I
is
do
another
too.
situation of what happens. And sometimes there is strength and energy in coming and speaking.
I agree. I wish
and
he'd speak. I really do. I think it would be good
to give
for
an
him.
account of actions, to
Yes.
give an account of why and what actually happened. And
Mhm.
and we start to see what it went down here. And thank God Tucker put him out on his platform, with it being the largest platform. And by the way, if anybody, we don't have Tucker haters around anymore. Oh, he's done. He's done. We had people say Tucker has only thrived because he's telling the
Correct.
stories. We do. We're not as big as Tucker, but
Mhm.
thank God we're grateful that Tucker does what he does and puts the stories out that people need to see, because without him and these stories, I didn't know about this guy's story.
Well, and I find it interesting, the take of Tucker on this, that all of these J6ers, he thinks that Donald Trump should pay all of their legal bills.
And keep in mind, he's friends with Donald Trump.
Correct. Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, he's not dissing Donald Trump in any way. And, I never really thought about it till I just saw that. If that happened to me, I would hope Donald Trump would pay my legal fees. I'm not saying he should, because he didn't do anything wrong, but it would be great. But here's the deal. Can he pay it now? He's trying to run for re-election. And with all of these court battles, he's
No,
fighting.
it's not. It's a side story.
It is.
No, it's
So-
impossible.
Mhm.
It's not going to happen, but it is what it is. I'm just not as big as Tucker. I'm bigger physically. Anyway, we're grateful for Tucker doing what he's doing. Super popular. That one just came out late last night.
Mhm.
I think 1.7 million views already,
Yeah,
just on this reporter,
correct.
a reporter. Thank God Tucker's there doing what he's doing. And of course, we'll continue to bring it to your attention as well as we can. One final story that we had to get into today before we got out here, and this is huge. We had Kyle Rittenhouse on our show, once we started, I don't know, maybe under a year ago.
It was a little over a year, actually. I think.
Super popular, came on our show, was grateful, talking about what he's dealing with these days. I mean, facing civil suits. He beat charges. You may remember Kyle Rittenhouse. I mean, back in 2020, I think it was 2020. He was only 17 years old. He shot and killed 2 men. Self-defense. He was exonerated.
Yes.
He was not charged, but then families tried to go after him on civil charges. He beat one. Then you have another family coming after him again when it comes to that whole situation. And then last night, Kyle's just tried to move on with his life. Whether he should or should not have been in Wisconsin to show up 17-year-old with a gun to try to protect. This was in writing was going on. And I told Kyle I wouldn't have gone there, but he was 17. He went there. But at the end of the day, did he shoot somebody or not because of self-defense? And of course, BLM went after him, tried to take his whole life down, and he was acquitted in 2021 on those charges of first-degree intentional homicide, attempted first-degree intentional homicide, first-degree reckless homicide, and 2 charges of first-degree recklessly endangering safety. Rittenhouse later said he supported the BLM movement, explaining that he was at the demonstration to protect businesses and provide medical assistance. Now, since then, his thoughts have changed. And last night, he was doing a speech, and he travels around. He's trying to make money. He was at Memphis, University of Memphis last night, and BLM showed up. And what we'll first show you is the people in line. Look at all the people that were showing up just because he was going there. We'll show you this video. Joe will show that. Then we'll show you what happened by the end of the night. Take a look at this video. People have jobs. Lock his ass up. Lock his ass up. Okay. People up to no good, looking for no good. And it's one thing if you want to go out and protest, if you're doing it legally. And, if you have nothing better to do, that's your prerogative, whatever. We already know BLM is a farce. Even if people had good intentions, it turned into a farce. It was already proven to be a farce. Your leaders took all the money. You guys are just out there looking like fools, yelling, screaming, doing whatever else. You're not helping yourself by doing that. So by the end of the night, here's how those nice BLM people were acting. And just take a look at who these people are. Okay, we get an idea of what it was like. The chat line says, all I see are a bunch of effing animals. Is this where the video started? Did it play over? Or you can continue it on, Joe.
No, it keeps going.
Just keep going, John. And it just continued. These are people who were at the conference trying to leave. They're just trying to leave and get to their cars.
all these people are making their grandma so proud.
Kevin, fuck you, boy.
Our chat line are calling these people who are blocking, yelling, screaming, intimidating people who are just there to listen to somebody. They're saying they look like animals, a pack of mad dogs. And I can't disagree with what I saw. Okay, and then national media tried to say that that Kyle Rittenhouse ran out last night. No, he and his security team posted a video laughing at what BLM was trying to do.
I mean, it's so not funny because these people have been promoted in the past, and it's still continuing
BLM is a
to go
joke.
on.
If
They
you
are a
support
joke.
BLM, you're a joke because BLM is not doing what it set out to do in the
Correct.
get-go.
Correct.
Now it's just turned into a bunch of pack animals
Mhm.
yelling, screaming, trying to cause issues, problems, threatening crime. That's all it is.
Mhm.
And people who were just there. So now people can't go with that. And then these thugs, these street thugs and Antifa wannabes and white liberals who, once again, we told you about the study that was done yesterday out of Finland. Research is now showing that people who are depressed,
Mhm.
people who have high anxiety, people who have less mental cognitive abilities are drawn to woke ideology. That's
Of
not
course
what
they
we're
are.
saying. This is what research is now saying.
Research is saying that, and it just shows what when you look at the people in the crowd.
And then you see how they act. There's a woman even holding babies out there.
Yes.
Because you start to teach the young how to be pack animals like yourself.
Mhm. Pack animals is the best way to call them because if you look at them individually, which I was trying to do, they are very odd looking people. So it goes to the point of what the research was saying that you said, Vic, where they look like they have a lot of issues. I mean, look at the girl.
And what if a bunch of white people are out there trying to stop black
Mhm.
people from leaving an event they were listening to?
Correct.
They would be called racist.
They would be. And these people are heroes.
You just have to have people who have the courage to call this out and show this video because it's absolute bullshit what happened. The
It
pack
really is.
mob mentality.
Mhm. And they were mainly the Black Lives Matters group, but there was Antifa in there too. I mean,
Hell
there
yeah,
was-
and they're around.
Yeah.
Antifa's still around.
they were mixed within there, and those people even looked more ridiculous with the-
Leave people alone. Go do your protest, whatever. Just leave people alone.
Mhm.
When you start to threaten and do those sorts of things, that's when people start to get unalived. And that's when people start to protect
Correct.
themselves. That's when you do that. Once again, that's why Second Amendment rights are so important.
Mhm.
What if police weren't there?
Right. Oh,
Think about that.
You have to have police at all these events now. And Sally is saying on the chat line that she's from Kentucky and that he's going to be there in Kentucky.
Good.
So
Good.
I hope that people in Kentucky don't act like those animals.
Well, I mean, these little branches and people, whether they're paid for or not,
Mhm.
they're in the minority. They want to have a
are.
big voice.
Mhm.
You know, BLM is dead. BLM is nothing. BLM is not helping black people. This is all about just making statements to cause problems and riots. And we've heard through people through the grapevine that certain people are paid just to get people riled up.
Mhm. And Lisa's saying when you're conceived in rage and you're gestated in rage, you're born and raised with rage, you do not develop empathy and compassion. And this is what you get, a bunch of feral people who subside on instinct.
All conservative events are in the crosshairs.
They are.
They really are. And this, by the way, was put on by Turning Point USA conference. They put it on. They invited Kyle Rittenhouse to speak. But guess what? It's not just him. This happened with Riley Gaines. Remember?
Yes.
I mean, there were people trying to kill her in San Francisco because she was there for an event. How dare she speak up for women's rights of women not having to play volleyball and basketball and swim against biological men? And that's so if those are liberal ideologies and if that's liberalism, how the hell could you vote for that and or Joe Biden?
You can't. You absolutely can't. And if you even have a friend, this would be a good video to show your leftist friend and say, this is who Joe Biden promotes. And you can vote for this feral group of animals.
Once again, Amendment 2 rights are so important. And that's ironic because this group who was there to protest and then protest people who went to listen to Kyle Rittenhouse over a Amendment 2 situation shows us that we definitely need Amendment 2 rights. And my God, what could have happened? What if somebody came out a door where there wasn't police? Or
they would have been mobbed. They probably would have been beaten to death.
That's scary. And if anybody has been in a mob situation, as I was, and I talked about that in a Detroit Red Wings celebration party or parade many years ago, man, you don't know it. I still can't even think. It's just, you're literally scared because you don't have eyes all around your head.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you can see what's coming, it doesn't mean you can stop it. The college was intentionally trying to make this speaking engagement more difficult for them. Keep in mind, this is Memphis. Memphis I'm sorry. There are some nice parts of Memphis, but Memphis has a ton of crime.
They do.
And it is not a beautiful city. It reminds me a lot of St. Louis. Let's just put it that way, from their politics to their crime. That doesn't mean it's all bad. Here's what also happened, according to Chris. They only allowed a room for 330 people when they had over 1,500 requests for tickets. And they tipped off the protesters because Turning Point had to hand tickets out the day of, because that's how these people made the rules. Mm-hmm. Once again, liberal college politics, liberal college antics. This is a problem with our learning institutions. And I wish I could say it was getting better, but it's not. The only way that that's going to change is when you have kids and people who are forcing administrators to change their ways, or you pull donations, as we saw with Harvard. Harvard was trying to clean up their old bullshit because they had billionaire investors and donators going, see you later, sucker. You're going to go after our Jewish community like this? And not only go against it, but teach and promote one side over the other. That's how you do it. You take their money away. And it's not like the University of Memphis is some massive institution.
Well, and when you see these people up close and personal, I've gone to several places where people like that and they all look the same. Crazy. They all look crazy. I had gone to an Eric Schmidt and Ted Cruz event. And of course, these like Black Lives Matters, Antifa people came in droves because they were the most mad at Ted Cruz, apparently, because he was so pro-life. And the violence they were willing to produce right in front of the police there. And I was kind of frustrated. It was in Cottleville, Missouri, and I was kind of frustrated because they didn't do anything to the protesters. They were told to stand down, and they hollered at.
Yeah, but those protesters are nothing like this.
Oh yeah, they got pretty violent.
I mean, these people were stopping cars, screaming, yelling.
These people,
guns in your face.
There was no guns in your face,
like hand signals and suggestions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they had no guns in your faces, but they got pretty doggone violent and were throwing things at people's cars and stuff. And, you know, I understood that the police were trying to keep the peace on both sides because some of the conservatives were getting just as heated back. It's just a shit show. And you can't, and like Lisa was saying on the chat line, you cannot reason with these Black Lives Matters people.
No, you
They're
can't.
not smart.
No,
you can't reason with them.
Peter says, whose job is on the line for purposely putting people in harm's way? Somebody's job should be on the line, but will it? The only way you do that is by continuing putting pressure and media attention on it. You go to the police. What will the police do? Probably nothing. Probably. Mm-hmm. I mean, it should be. It should be a crime to do that, to let people know. The only thing that you can do is, you just go and you make it known who from Memphis did this at the university. You get the word out because they're going to continue to show up. Now, in the grand scheme of things, there are not a lot of protesters, but it doesn't take a lot to cause a scene. Now, they use that as a positive for their agenda. Mm-hmm. We can be louder. We can be meaner. The only way to take pictures of them. The other sad thing was I saw this little angry elf Antifa guy, and that's what most of Antifa is. They're a bunch of little angry elves.
They are.
They are angry elves.
They are angry elves.
And I saw them at Schnucks the other day. I saw three of them.
You saw some angry elves at Schnucks?
I saw some angry elves, and how I knew it because they had.
Were they pushing?
They had Trump like X'd out, all black, purple, green hair, like just angry. It's like I walked by and it was just like, ugh, and it was just like hate society. One had hate society hat on, and I'm just like, and that's Antifa.
That
It
is
is.
Antifa. It is.
They're angry little elves, and we already know why. And I know we have to have compassion for people who, as the polling has shown, that are dealing with mental issues, but
Correct.
you got to protect yourself at the same point in time.
You do. I mean, and you do look at them. And my first reaction
because
to
it's
them,
not protesting.
That's right. It's not protesting. My first reaction when I see them is like, oh my gosh, I want to repel away from them because everything that they stand for is so bad and anti-American and anti-God. But I also look at them and I always say this and I pray for them right there because who hurt you? Like who in your life was it? Because you didn't have a dad? Did you have a bad mom? Was your dad an alcoholic? Did you have a boyfriend that beat you? What happened to you? Because something had to have happened to them to be that angry. I mean, it's kind of tragic, really.
No, it is. But listen, you can hate Kyle Rittenhouse all you want, but you can't go make other people fear for their safety. But these are young, dumb people. They're dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to call these younger people evil, but most of them look to be young. And misguided because that's what a lot of the colleges and universities do, which is why you need kids that are coming from strong homes, traditional families as much as possible, taught how you act and how you don't act. And you don't even have to come from a traditional family to know right from wrong and to not make people feel safe. You can't do that. And once again, these people were not provoking the protesters. They were walking out to go to their cars.
Correct.
Where's the national media? Where's Joe Biden? Where are they coming out on all of these things? Where's AOC, who's so dumb that she said RICO isn't a crime?
They love this.
Where are all these people? Where are they?
Mm-hmm.
Where's Cori Bush calling this out? Where's she at?
Mm-hmm.
Where's Tashara Jones calling this out?
They don't. And it's sad.
Why not?
Because their side is the one doing the damage to the side they hate so much. They hate the Christian American.
It's called conservatives.
That's right. That's right. And you don't have to be Christian by any means to be a conservative. However, the big majority is, and we already know their game. If it was the opposite, they would be screaming to the rooftops. But because they were being mean to conservatives, that's fine.
We just want to call it facts. I mean, there's no reason. You can have whatever opinion you want. You're allowed. That's the great thing about the First Amendment. And even that is under attack by Ketanji Brown Jackson, our Supreme Court justice, who says, damn, the First Amendment kind of hamstrings us. That's right, it does, lady. And it's done on purpose. You can have and exercise your First Amendment, but it ends when you start to cause trouble for others. You don't have a right anymore. And when I see these videos, and then I think of all the illegal alien videos we show, and the TikToker trying to tell people how to come here, the TikToker from Venezuela telling people how to take people's homes away and getting millions of views. Yeah, that scares me. And that's why I do believe with one of the chat line people that chimed in earlier saying blood will be shed before this gets better.
That's
once again, we're not trying to create issues or problems. It's just we always try to be one step ahead. How does this change? What's going to make it get any better?
They're going to go to these groups, and that Antifa group, that BLM group, is going to meet up with somebody that's had enough, and there's going to be bloodshed. That's I'm not advocating for it. I'm truly not, but that's what's going to happen, and it's going to happen sooner than later.
Yeah, and we cover these stories. We try to do this. That's what Cancel the Show is all about. We've been around for a little bit of time now. We appreciate the big support that we have on a daily basis. Live Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central and all the time. You can catch our website, canceltheshow.com. You can check out our partners who help make the show happen. We appreciate any donations that you can give as well. That's this is expensive to do. We try to do it as top notch as we possibly can to get the word out. And if we have more resources, we can stay on longer. We can promote ourselves and we can market ourselves even more. But in the meantime, we are grateful for the support that we get on a daily basis from you, not only throughout the Missouri area, but all across the countries and the world, because we do have listeners across the world as well. Just let us know if you have story ideas or possible partners from a national standpoint as well, so that we continue to speak truth. We're not worried about people's feelings here. We're worried about facts first. We care about people, but it's all about facts first. Facts first, no crimes. Facts first, no crimes, and bringing the truth out in every possible situation we can, from a local, state, and national level. Anything else that we need to get to? I can't remember, Lizzie, before we close out.
No, you hit all the topics. We could go on for days, but I think we're done for today.
We're grateful for you supporting us and continuing to support us as always. Projo, we love to see you on camera. You're doing the show from home today. We don't see you. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. It is our Free for All Friday show. We're putting something together for tomorrow. Look forward to that, where we just have more fun, where we let go a little bit. We'll do a little politics, a little national news, but maybe we'll get in a little conspiracy tomorrow.
Well, you know, Megan is going to be here tomorrow. I'm not here, and Megan's in my place, and she's got some really good stuff to tell you guys.
And you're not going to be here again. Why?
I'm going to be down in the pits of hell at the Dome.
Oh my God.
I'm going to be honestly at this Dome for a volleyball tournament all weekend. So pray for me that we don't get run over by a car.
Look right and left.
That's right.
Look
For
right
sure.
and left when you're crossing the street.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate you guys jumping in today for the fastest 2 hours in podcasting. And we did say this at the beginning of the show, and we say it again. Happy World Down Syndrome Day. For any families that have beautiful Down syndrome angels running around in your family, we send a shout out to you as well. Thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, share our show on all the platforms. You know where we are: X, Rumble, Facebook, YouTube, Cloud Hub. Those are just the video options. And of course, too many to count when it comes to audio. And of course, the audio is there in 10 minutes. And just like all the platforms if you can. We're grateful for it. All right, that does it for the fastest 2 hours in podcasting. For Projo, Lizzie Sparks, I'm Vic Faust. Have an awesome day. We'll catch up with you guys tomorrow for canceltheshow.com.
Our YouTube was the same. Our Facebook was good.